And now, from beyond our dimension, this is the JeffMara podcast. Here's Jeff.
My guest is Maggie Redfeather, who died during surgery and during her near-death experience encountered many beings in another dimension. Maggie, thank you for joining me and welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me. Nice to be here.
Maggie, let's start on the day that your surgery happened and go from there.
Okay, I had gotten injured. I used to work on an ambulance, and we were on a call, and I had gotten injured, and I had to have surgery. And I remember that, so I was laying flat down, face down, because they were working on my spine. It was my lower spine. I had to have a fusion done and a rod put in. And I remember, they put you to sleep. And then I remember coming out of my body. So I was facing down. So I remember going towards the floor and then going up and through everything. And then going right into the corner of the room and, hovering around for a while and then being guided through the walls and everything into like what seemed to be like a waiting room. It felt like if you could imagine what it would be like to be in an egg, a nice warm, kind of place. And there was another being there. And he told me it was time to go. And then I was like standing. It felt like I was standing on this square thing, and 4 big beings were around me, north, south, east, west, in each corner, and I was in the center. And then it felt like the floor went out, and we went down, and then like we were catapulted up. And during this time, it's like we were going through layers, and each layer there were different things. And then the last layer before we left Earth, there were like all these spirits like trying to grab me and everything. And the 4 beings, came in to make me feel safe that they couldn't get to me. And then we left. And it was like you see in the movies, sort of like a wormhole kind of thing. But there was so much happening at one time. It's like everybody talks about that one thing in the beginning. But I have to say that there's so many things happening. You can't really remember or describe, the feeling of being one with everything. So, and then I remember it was like going through it's like a tunnel. It was like a funnel though. And you could hear the singing and hallelujah and like you could hear the universe. You could hear the sounds and everything. And I saw columns and I saw the lion with the wings and I saw, lots of beings and lots of eyes and different kind of beings, animal, human, all different kind, reptiles, blue, little tiny ones. And then it was like I was in a crystal world and the steps were gold. And I thought it was Jesus. Because I was Christian and Catholic when I had passed. And that's what I associated with that feeling that I would imagine that warmth would have been. And I really don't remember too much. I know there was a lot of, conversing, and they showed me a lot of things. Everything is fluid. They showed me holograms. They showed me a lot of things that happened in the future since the NDE during this awakening period. And these very profound things, and I have abilities now, and a lot of times I don't even know, it feels like I'm still out of my body because I see things, like I'm not in my body. So it was a very beautiful, and we're immortal. There is no death like we thought, we're in our soul. And like I said, a lot of wonderful things have happened since, and I'm not religious anymore, but, the knowledge that's pouring in, this is the Christ awakening, the apocalypse, or however people want to call it.
How did you come back?
I remember that I didn't want to. He says, you have to go back. And I said, okay. And then I just remember waking up and feeling pain.
In the beginning, you mentioned that you were guided to a waiting room.
Yes.
Who was guiding you?
Well, I think what people consider death is really their oversoul. I think it's you taking you because you're in you. So when you leave your body, you're returning to you. And that you is part of everything and has the knowledge to take you, I guess.
Would you say then that that's like your complete self?
Yes, I guess that's the way you could interpret that, yeah.
So you went to a waiting room, and that to me is such a structural thing. You know what I mean? It's not like going to a cloud or a misty place. Can you describe the waiting room?
It was like really weird because the being, I think it was a tall white being. You know the movie The Close Encounters?
Yeah, I love that movie. It's been a while though.
The aliens at the end? Because now as I'm talking to you, you know, I'm getting images. I guess it sort of looked like that. And it looked like he was standing in front of a podium. You know, like you would think you look in the book, you know, like your name is in there for the Book of the Dead. It seemed like that. Now that I'm talking to you, it's sort of like comical because when you go through dimensions, there's cartoon dimensions and you're like cartoony and all these weird things are coming at you. And this being was like that. That's how it was. It was like you're sitting there just waiting. And it was like, I guess it's like a place where you, I guess, start adjusting or something. I don't know, like you're in a warm light, you know, a very soft light lit room.
That's fascinating that possibly ETs are assisting us when we come back.
Well, I don't think over there is over there. I think over there is over here. I think as I'm learning, it's our vibration. We're not separate at all because we think that there's nothing between me and the wall, right? This is air. It's not air. I don't know how to describe it. Well, the ether is spirit. So you have spirits facing north, south, east, and west. Each one's are on a different vibration. I guess that's the cross. Because we're all together. We're breathing it in.
Would you say that we're on a certain frequency like a radio station and you just turn the dial and we change frequencies and then you're in their dimension, but it's all right here?
Yes. Exactly. I guess that is the way because I was shown the real sunrise. This was after my return. I didn't remember that I died. It took some time. There were certain things that happened in my life after the surgery, certain traumatic things that took place, and then the real remembering started.
So you're saying that you didn't remember it till like maybe you were under hypnosis later or something?
No. I always was paranormal also, but I really didn't remember. You know, I was a little psychic. I did paranormal investigating and everything, and I started really getting, you know, intuitive, like a knowing. I can communicate with animals. I communicate with the plants. I understand the sounds. I understand light language. I have an understanding of things that I don't know. I guess it's like when you're a kid and before somebody tells you that it's not possible for something to be true, and you know that everything is true. It's sort of like an innocent return, like a knowing.
Did you have these abilities before your NDE or afterwards?
I had them, but I didn't, not like this. You know, I was be able to remote view. I was able to, psychometry I was very good at. Things like that. Healing I was very good at. Now it's amplified that I don't really think that I'm going to be in this body too much longer. I don't think it's able to take it.
Did you have some other experience earlier in life that could have been a catalyst to start this?
Yes, I had, this wasn't the first time that I passed. And I do leave my body, and I was doing work with terminally. I used to work on the ambulance, and then I was a therapist, and I was helping people that were dying and helping them to transition the spirit, you know, like coma patients or people with cancer, and I was helping them to move forward. So I was always in and out, but I didn't realize, you know, I didn't realize the depth that was it. You know, I was always searching, always, you know, looking. And you really don't have to look. It's really, well, you have to go in. You know, I always did the hypnosis. I did self-hypnosis. I had a lot of trauma. I had PTSD for years. I was the therapist. It's like I was the patient. I learned how to heal. I brought it to the patients. I taught them. And then something else would happen and I had to, you know, you fall again and you go back and forth. So that was pretty much my life. But as I'm realizing, we greet everything before we get here. So now I understand why, you know, I guess that they say when you fix yourself, you become the best kind of healer. So everything that I always took in and learned, I always used to help my patients. So that's, you know, I'm just like amplified. And I vibrate.
You what? You said, and you
I
vibrate?
vibrate around people. I vibrate now.
Do you see your hands tremor?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I took a video before. It's like I go through things. I don't know. I'm like disappearing. I think we're supposed to become light bodies.
Back to your NDE, you mentioned that there were 4 big beings in each corner. What did they look like?
They were very tall, and it looked like they had a collar and a long cloak, but it could have been wings or it could have been part of their person. They weren't human. I don't know if they were like insects. I really can't remember. I was telling you it could have been like the 4 horses. It was sort of like, you know, like you hear you're going to have the 4, but they weren't. They weren't horses. They were tall beings. Beautiful.
So when you were over there, you saw columns. Would it look like Greek or Roman?
Yes, it would. And then you know how they have the things in Tibet where you
The scrolls or something?
Yes, yes, I had that on there. And then it was like an opening. I guess like you go like into a you know, they're making that new temple, like a throne room.
I don't know about that. Where's that?
In Jerusalem. They're supposed to be trying to rebuild temple. But the same setup, it's like an ancient setup. And I guess it looks something like that. But then once I got in, it was lit up. It wasn't. It was like, I don't know, everything at once, all the worlds, all the beautiful beings that you hear about. And that's when I felt that it's sort of like I was walking, but I wasn't walking. I guess I was floating and everything was crystally. And then the stairs of gold and then the light, gold light that I would imagine was Jesus. Because you see a person, but then the face wasn't a face, it was a light.
Did you have a knowingness that it was Jesus?
Yes, that's what it felt like to me.
And then you went to a crystal city, right?
Yes.
Can you describe it?
I think that's what we're in now. I think everything is mirrored, and I think that we're not from here. I believe it was like amethyst walls and floors, and I don't know, flowing. It was like being in a garden, but not a garden. It's very strange. It's everything at one time. It's indescribable.
You were told about your future. Has any of it come true?
Well, I was shown things, and as they happened, I remembered that I was shown them. I was in a lot of dangerous situations, and as I was let out of them, I was shown. I was like, oh, okay. So I wasn't scared, and I was able to focus on what I had to focus on.
They didn't give you anything that's like hasn't come to pass yet, then?
No. Matter of fact, I'm still learning, and it's still coming to me. This happened in 2007, this last one. And all these very profound things happened afterwards.
So once you recalled these memories, how did your life change?
Well, I changed. I did a whole change, and the people around me, I guess it's part of what's supposed to be happening. It's an awakening, but I'm not a people pleaser anymore, and the people in my life don't like it. So I really don't have people in my life anymore. But that's okay. I got everybody in my life. It's weird. I understand what's happening. So, it's like they could hurt me, but I understand what's happening. So right now I just have to be patient because they're shadowing, you know. They're not angry at me. They needed me to be, I can't be the person they needed me to be. So they
I
have to
guess
look at themselves, yes.
I guess perhaps you're not useful to them anymore.
Exactly. Not yet. Not yet, because when, the time will come. And if it's not now, it'll be when we're spirits, because you're with your soul group. That's something else I learned. And what struck me really funny is that I was a single parent. I was a very, I got to protect my kids, that kind of lioness mom thing. But when you pass away, you don't worry about anything. It's not, you don't even think about it. It's like, it's really weird.
Would you say that you even forgot about Maggie Redfeather completely?
Well, Maggie Redfeather is the new me. Spirit, my ancestors gave me the name Redfeather. And Margaret Karubi was passed away.
Well, I guess what I mean is while you were over there, did you completely forget about Margaret Karubi?
Yes. Well, I was. You don't know. When people say, "What is it like?" I say, "Close your eyes if you want to know what it's like." Are you still here? That's it. It's either you're in or you're out. You're possessing a physical form. You're actually possessing your body. You're a ghost possessing that form.
Do you feel like our consciousness creates our body?
I don't know. I'm healing mine. If my consciousness did it, I would hope it would do a little quicker. No, but no. I think so. I believe so. I believe as you believe, so you are. Yes, I do.
Do you think that this realm that we live in is a simulation? It's not real?
No, it's not real. It's not real. I see it now. Everything is in front. This wall is not, I don't know how to say it. At nighttime, it comes out. The trees are not trees. Nothing is one thing. Well, I see it. I don't see it as solid anymore. I don't see anything solid, I should say.
Everything's fluid?
Yes, everything is. You know when you see a projected show, like a movie, you have the camera and then it's projecting on the screen. The in between those, that movie is in between. That's what I see. I see the hologram. Everything's a hologram. I see everybody's. You have two of you. Mm-hmm. You move. It's like you have a bunch of you heads around you.
I guess if you look at people like me or anybody and you see their energy, is that what you're meaning? Is like they look like multiple beings kind of moving together?
Humans have other eyes. You have other eyes. Here, everywhere. And we have another person, like your hologram. Mm-hmm. You have one on your right, one on your left. You know those little cartoons with the guy on your shoulders?
Yeah.
We have our beings on our shoulders. We really do. I think they call us Brahim or something. The age of, I don't know how to say it. He has many faces. You ever see the Hindu god?
Oh, gosh, I probably have. I just don't remember.
I don't know how to say his name. But
you would say that would be a good
that's us.
Example of what we really are, as the being with multiple faces.
Yes.
I need to look at that.
Yes, you have and this is a face. You have eyes on your hands. You have eyes in your mouth. You have your throat. Once you start seeing it, once it opens your eyebrows, people with dark eyebrows, you could see it easier if you're looking there. It's hard to see on women. Men, it's easier.
Do you see that all the time when you look at people and you have to just kind of ignore it, or do you have to go look for that?
No, actually, I find it very hard to be around people because it takes a lot of adjusting. It's taken me a lot to adjust. I'm surprised it's been so hard. Sounds are much different. I know what people are feeling by the sound. Like if they're in their car and the car is making sounds and they're not in a good mood, I'll know. It comes through me. You come through me. I could be you.
Can you describe the sounds in any way?
No. It's like you. All right. Say like I could know if I wanted, as you're speaking, right? Your sound is going through me. So your essence is going. This is how I, interpret what I'm feeling. Your essence is going through me. So by your sound, I know what you're feeling and everything. I can read you.
I think I've heard from some of my guests that when they're on the other side, especially speaking to God, obviously they don't have ears, but it's like they feel his sound, not really hearing it. Would you say that's the same for you?
Yes. Yes. People could hear it. If you ever hear a movie or when you first put on something and you hear that, that just that static in the background, tune into that when you're meditating. Like when you meditate and you just go into everything, that's the same thing as when you pass and you're with God. So you don't have to pass to be with God. That's something else. You just have to be with God.
When you were on the other side, would you say it was dreamlike or more real than here?
It felt more like home, more natural, but it's definitely more dreamlike. Your wall is where you are, your background. Now, in your background, all those dots make images. They're giant people. That's us. That's how you have to see everything. We're made up of dots. We're this size, but yet there's a little one of us somewhere. There's like so many dimensions happening at one time.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your abilities that have been magnified?
I communicate with animals. I know what they're thinking by their sounds. You could understand them. Everything is music when you die. Everything is sound. I had a blind patient, so I learned how to see. I learned how to see. So when I hear sounds, I see colors. They create images. And so now I have animals and the trees. I hear their music. I don't see anything solid. Very intuitive. If the radio is on, it comes through me. The people come through me. If I'm watching a movie, those people come through me. I could speak as they're speaking. If somebody's around me is walking and I want to tune into them, I could do what they're doing. I don't know. I'm in the oneness, I guess.
Did you happen to see any relatives or ancestors on the other side?
Not that I would say understand. It was like spirit. You could feel them, but I wouldn't know them.
What about members of your soul group?
No, I don't remember any of that. I just remember that beautiful feeling of this floating, and I don't know, some kind of joy that is indescribable.
Do you fear death at all?
I don't fear death, but when in the human form, my body fears expiring. It's weird. I know there's no pain to it. I know that it's beautiful, and I know that it feels a lot better than being in pain. But when I think about it, when I'm back in it, I don't really want to go through it again. But there's nothing to go through. I don't know. It's really weird. It's just a human thing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
A natural thing.
Maybe when you think about it, the body results chemically, which makes it feel awkward. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it has that survival mechanism.
Right.
Because when you die, think of yourself, you're a glass of water. Think of yourself, when you die, you pour out the water. The water doesn't go away. It changes. So, my body knows that already. It's already been through it. Oh, no, it's already been through it. But my mind, something in my mind, says, I don't want to do it again. And there's nothing harmful or scary about it. It's beautiful.
When you were on the other side, do you think that, or do you recall that all the chatter that we have day in and day out, does that all disappear?
Yes. Oh, definitely. You don't have a noisy mind. Not at all. But everything we go through is for our experience spiritually to grow. That's why we agree to these things before we get here. So, which makes me really wonder, what is Earth? We come to experience things, painful things, because when you're there, there's no painful things.
For people that are grieving over the loss of loved ones, what kind of advice do you have for them?
I don't want to sound, cold, because I used to be one of those people that I could have been a crier for somebody. I used to absorb all that and be hysterical. Now I sing. I'm happy. I just lost my mom in I think it was January or late December, and I was happy. I was happy for her because I understood. I couldn't grieve. I grieve grieving. I miss grieving. I don't have any grief, so it's not. I try to be solemn now around people because I have a lot of joy for the person. There's not. It's the people here that miss the physical. If I could say anything, if everybody could understand that their loved one is fine, they just don't have their body anymore, so they're fine. That's what I call it.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
Yes, I've been here many, many times.
Do you think we have the option of either coming back or going somewhere else?
I think it has to do with karma, and I think it has to do with your spiritual growth and where you're at. And if you need to learn anything, or redo anything. It's like a do-over. I'm not saying you got to do everything over. I wouldn't want to come back because, I messed up on something. I don't know how it works, but it's something to that effect. If you need to learn, you come back.
Did you have any evidence of a life review?
No, I don't think I was there that long. It's like I said, it's not the first time. And I have to say that there was one time that I died that I was very scared. And you go to different places based on where you're at. So I guess that's how you come back. I guess because fear is a lower vibration. So I guess if you're really fearful when you pass, you have to build up again.
What inspires you about your experience?
The sounds, the colors, the beauty, that all this pain. You think that, when really horrible things happen, you really think you can't imagine. Your mind can't handle it or your heart can't handle it. And after you die, you realize, oh my God, everything is okay anyway. It's like, I don't know, just like there's no more, I don't know, I don't want any more drama. I don't want any more trauma. And I don't have any more, I don't hold anything. I guess that's a biggie for me.
Now, since you've been back, I believe you've become an artist, right?
Yes.
Can you show us some of your work?
Well, this is some. I just put music on and colors come out. And then when you put music on, all these images show up and they come out. It's very spiritual.
That's great. Do you have anything smaller on canvas?
No, not really. Not right
big
now,
stuff.
No. Yeah. I do. Well, being in lockdown and everything, you go a little cuckoo anyway. But it's nice. You could use your walls as a canvas. People are like, oh, no, you have to do color. You don't have to do anything. And be original. That's what I was told. Be original, be crazy, be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There's no mental illness. It's all vibration. And we have the power to heal ourselves. I'm being shown how to heal and heal others. So I do that work. And, I try, as much as possible to send out good vibes right now to raise up our planet. Yes.
Did you see any other evidence of extraterrestrials while you were over there?
I see them now. They contact me since I've been there, and I was taken up twice in my car.
You were just kind of like beamed up?
No, actually, they saved my life. One time, I had just broken up with somebody, and he was seeing somebody with some crazy stuff going on, and somebody slipped my tires.
Wow.
And I was driving on the parkway, and I was upset, and this light came. And I didn't realize it, but my tire exploded, and I was taken up. And when you're out of body, you look like you're in the Matrix, when it turns green with all the... So I saw that, and next thing I knew, I was shown a lot of stuff. I was flying around up there, and then the car bounced back down. I guess and I was like in the passenger seat, and there was the guy outside. He was an angel, but he was dressed like in a plaid shirt, but it really wasn't plaid. And this other car said, "Are you okay?" And I remember turning my head, and And I went, it wasn't me answering, he was making me answer that I was okay. And then the next thing I knew, I was back in my car driving, and it was like 2 hours later.
Wow.
He had changed the tire and everything.
Do you think that ETs and angels are here on the planet, but are they ever in our frequency, like us, in this solid form?
Yes, a lot of us are ETs and angels and star seeds or whatever. And yes, but they are here, definitely.
Do you think that they're ever here in ET form, or they're just here in human form?
No, they're cloaked as humans, so we can't see them. But they're here. I don't want to talk about but they're running everything. I don't want to go into that now.
All right, I won't ask you if some famous person is an ET.
You don't want to know. Well, you have to realize something. Humans, we believe that we're the intelligent life form on the planet. We're not. We're in there. They consider us animals. So we're high up on the animal chain because we have hands and feet. We could do things more. We don't really go based on our instincts. But no, the people that are running the planet aren't human, most of them. And we have a lot of alien DNA in us, and it's being awoken. So many people, if you see all YouTube, you can see all these people having different abilities, dancing. Oh, when the music goes on, I have no more pain. I have no more shifting in my spine. I'm dancing all over the place. It's I think everybody's new abilities are coming out.
It seems like when I watch YouTube, I see children now that are so much better at being musicians than you've ever seen before.
Oh my God, it's amazing, and the gymnastics they do and the dancing. So I think we're going to be fine. I think the Earth's going to be fine.
After watching this podcast, people may want to reach out to you and ask you questions. Are you open to that?
Oh yeah, I'm open to that. I also do healings. If anybody, they want to reach out, I can help them out with healings, whatever. I do Reiki and stuff.
What's the best way to contact you?
I guess Facebook. Just come and say hi.
Maggie, what's the name of your YouTube channel and what kind of content do you post there?
It's Maggie Red Feather Karubi, and I post pictures of the ether, moving, the living waters, energy, and my artwork. At nighttime, you could see, I take photos of living energy, and you could see all the holograms and beings coming out, and it's everywhere. So once you see it, it should open up your eyes and you'll be able to see it everywhere.
Maggie, before we finish up, can you give us one last positive message?
We're immortal. We're beautiful, divine beings. And don't let anybody ever make you feel different. That would be the only thing I would say.
Maggie, thank you for that message. And thank you for being my guest.
Oh, thank you for having me. It was great. Thank you.
Thanks for watching the JeffMara podcast. I really appreciate you. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. And if you do, there are loyalty badges and other perks depending on your level of membership. All you need to do is click the join button underneath the video to find out more. Thank you for your support.